What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, another guide video actually. You might notice that my layout looks a little bit different. I'm not sure if I talked about this in yesterday's video because I'm recording out of order, but basically I want to give a huge shout out to Elgato. This video is sponsored by Elgato. As you can see, I'm actually using a well, you can't really see, but I am using a green screen, which I think is really going to up my visual quality. My camera quality is still pretty bad. I have a camera on the way, so I can up my visual quality in terms of like how I look, but this is I think this is a much cleaner layout than what I've been using, especially for guide videos. So I hope you guys enjoy it, because yeah, it's a really big step up in my quality. So I hope it makes a difference to you guys, because for me, I'm giving the same information no matter what, but I hope this makes it at least a little bit nicer to look at. Yeah, so thank you to Elgato. This video is sponsored by Elgato. Yeah. Let's jump into the guide. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. It's been really amazing on my recent videos. I hope you are enjoying the guide series. I am trying to do guides in the morning and battles in the evening. I built a really cool team that, like, honestly, I built it and then I was like, this team is maybe too good, so maybe I shouldn't use it, but that seemed kind of disingenuous, so I'm gonna use it anyway, although I think I actually found something maybe too good. So like, I always joke about like breaking the meta in my YouTube videos when I use dumb stuff, and I don't think I've broken the meta by any means, but I'm working on getting the team in game, and I think it's actually really scary. So yeah, if you watch my videos, you're gonna have a leg up over other people if you want to use this strategy, because it's actually super good. Sorry, very last thing. Remember to subscribe. 75k, I'll be starting to use that new team, or I won't use it before the new team. I'm working on getting it in game, and I'll also be posting the EV spread of the last team. Every 5,000 supporters, I'm building a new team and sharing it with you guys. And yeah, at 100k, I'll be doing Pokemon Academy, which I talk about every video. So if you don't know what it is, watch a different video. Anyway, oops. Let's jump into the video. So today we're talking about Eiscue. Actually, let's go here. So we're talking about Eiscue today. I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. Basically, Eiscue is a new Pokemon introduced in Generation 8. It looks like this. It actually has two forms. I love the shiny form. Yeah, it's a really cool Pokemon. So the way that it works is it has these two forms. I like the little hair up top here. It has Ice Face and then no Ice Face. So this is Ice Face. This is Noise Face. No Ice Face. And the way that it works is if Eiscue takes a physical attack in Ice Face, it's basically like Disguise, but it only works for physical attacks. And the ice will break, change its form, change its stats, and then the barrier will be gone. The reason this is so interesting is that Eiscue has certain moves that make it a more interesting user of a disguise type mechanic than Mimikyu. And the other really interesting thing about Ice Face is that setting Hail or being sent out during Hail restores the Ice Face. So a lot of people might be confused about this, so I'm going to try and explain it simply. Let's say I have Eiscue on the field and I set Hail, and it's in no Ice Face. Eiscue will then transform into Ice Face Eiscue, okay? Now let's say Hail is on the field and my Ice Face breaks. I believe what happened is that it won't turn back, if Hail's already on the field. So basically it's only when the weather changes to Hail or Eiscue enters Hail form. However, if Eiscue changes the weather, if something else changes the weather, it can reset its own Ice Face, which is really interesting. So, full disclaimer, Eiscue is intended to be used on a team with Hail. That's probably one of the best things for it, and you want to be using it, like, you don't want to be bringing it to every battle, but when you think it'll be strong against your opponent's physical attackers, that's a really good time to bring it. So basically the Ice Face is a lot slower. It's 80 points slower, which if you know Pokemon, you know that that's a huge deal. It's bulkier in both defenses. It has 40 more in each defense, and the attack stats are the same. So you might be thinking that Ice Face is better than no Ice Face, but in my opinion, no Ice Face is actually a lot better. The reason for that is the huge base speed. So, basically, 130 base speed is the same speed stat as Tapu Koko and Mega Gengar, who are no longer in the game, rest in peace. But what that means is that Eiscue can be it goes from being a pretty bulky Pokemon to a very offensive one. So, you might be thinking, alright, the offensive stats aren't that great, right? So, it's not that good of a Pokemon. However, the interesting thing about Eiscue, because it's a penguin, it gets Belly Drum. So, you can have a Pokemon that has a built-in disguise with Belly Drum that has 130 speed stat. Think about that. That's kind of crazy. And it also has the ability to reset its own Hail, which we'll talk to in a bit. So, when I do these guides, I want to talk about, like, how some Pokemon... I want to talk about Dynamax, basically, and how some Pokemon are better users of Dynamax than others. I think Eiscue is a really good Pokemon when it comes to Dynamax, because... So, let's talk about the first set here. Belly Drum, Liquidation, Icicle Crash, and Protect. this is a belly drum set. The idea is you get Eiscue in a position where it's not like under that much pressure from the opponent. Either they have a physical attacker and something that doesn't threaten Eiscue, or you have a fake out partner, or you have follow me or something. You have some way of protecting Eiscue, and you get the belly drum off, right? And then with this set, you really want them to break your ice face. So I think also pairing this with something with like a priority move, like a priority physical type attack, like Mach Punch or Bullet Punch or something, I think that's a good strategy. But the way that it works is, I've added some bulk. I figured you didn't actually need to be max speed unless you want to like speed tie Jolteon, which isn't very popular. So you could actually drop even more speed. If I was running this, I'd go all the way down to like Salazzle. Right, I would just have to beat Salazzle, I think, which is 185. So you can drop even more speed. But this hits 195, which outspeeds Weavile. Protect, Belly Drum, Liquidation, Icicle Crash. So the idea here and the reason you want Liquidation is, let's say you set up Belly Drum safely. Then you have the Hail Up and you're, or let's say you don't have the Hail Up. You can then max and use Icicle Crash. +6 Z Icicle Crash sets the Hail, or max Icicle Crash sets the Hail and will KO an opponent, and setting the Hail will reactivate Ice Face. Then the next turn you can, and even if they break the Ice Face, right? Let's say you target your opponent's special attacker and you take a physical hit. Next turn, you can use Max Liquidation to set the Rain. Not that big of a deal, right? However, you can then, the third turn of your max moves, use Icicle Crash again to set the Hail and reactivate your own Ice Face. So pairing this with a Hail Pokemon, or or just resetting it yourself. Like, you can use this without Hail. I just think it's better with Hail, because you have the ability to set your own Hail. In multiple ways, but yeah, this is a sweeper. So this Eiscue isn't extremely bulky, and you might, like, I think if you get the belly drum off, you're going to be fine, but yeah, like getting the belly drum off safely and making sure that your Ice Face breaks, because one of the main weaknesses of this Pokemon is that if your opponent is smart, they can just hit it with only special moves. So you need to kind of find a way to incentivize them or force them to hit it with a physical move. This is the next set I came up with. Basically, this set says, okay, this is a pretty solid support set intended specifically for a Hail team. Icy Wind, and it actually gets Freeze Dry, which is not a move with crazy good distribution. Aurora Veil for support, and then Protect with leftovers. This set, again, intended for a Hail team, using Freeze Dry to really buff up the defenses. This set, rather than being a sweeper, is intended to just be super annoying. Just sit around, set Aurora Veil, and spam Icy Wind and Freeze Dry on the opponent. Freeze Dry, 2-hit KOs Rotom and 2-hit KOs Gyarados cleanly. 2-hit KOs no bulk Rotom, I should say. That's why we have a bit of special attack. So, because I know some Choice Scarf Rotom are popular at the moment. So, yeah, that's the idea with Freeze Dry. And you could run a water move here as well. There's a couple other good support moves it gets. I guess I didn't really... Eiscue's move pool is really limited. Gets Weather Ball. It gets Surf, which isn't great. Blizzard, which is okay. You can run Blizzard on this set as well. I just personally like Freeze Dry. It gets Reflect. It gets Whirlpool, Icicle Spear, Brine, and then like Soak as well. Soak is the other big one, and Head Smash. And it gets a couple decent coverage moves like Iron Head and Reversal, but overall the move pool is pretty shallow, so that's why you see moves like this. But I think this set could be solid on a team that either is a Hail team or intends to use faster Ice type moves. You don't have to use Aurora Veil; it's just very good. You could also run Light Clay. That's a viable. Actually, I would say Light Clay probably should be the default here if you feel confident in setting Hail. You can also drop Aurora Veil for something like Soak if you want to pair this thing. Because Eiscue is so fast, this Pokemon's still much faster than a lot of the metagame after Ice Face. It still hits 151 speed stat, which is very fast. So you could still very easily use Soak on this thing, pair it with a slower grass type Pokemon, or you could run more speed if you wanted to use Soak and have the intention of doing like a Soak set. I just didn't feel like that's a super consistent thing without like having a team already in mind, so I didn't want to talk about that too much. Next up, we have Choice Band. Choice Band here takes advantage of the fact that Eiscue has this built-in disguise mechanic, so and a really fast base speed stat when its ice is broken. So the idea here is that you, because the offensive stats don't change, you basically are trying to just use Eiscue to rip holes in your opponent's team and taking an advantage that it has this built-in shield. Basically, it's one free attack off for sure if the opponent uses physical attacks, or not one free attack off, but you know what I'm saying. Like it can be very it's hard to remove. It's like Mimikyu in that it's hard to remove. You can also like very easily run. Like I said, Eiscue is a great Pokemon that you Dynamax because of the high base speed, and then basically the high base speed and then the ability to reset its own Hail. I'm just gonna really quickly run a calc here. So this is just this calc is not amazing because it's like Smogon. I mean, it's good for Smogon, but it's not good for Wolfie. But yeah, Head Smash with Choice Band. Head Smash. Oops, that's a charge. A lot of people have been running. Oh my god, yeah. So with Choice Band, basically, so if they're Intimidate, you can run Jolly if you want, because the reason I'm running Adamant is for this calc. After a Intimidate, you still Oko Gyarados with Head Smash, which is ridiculous. That kind of gives you an idea for, like, the damage output here. Let's see, Icicle Crash. Like, even, like, if they're Moxie, for example, and you're Adamant, like, or, yeah, like, you just do so much damage with Icicle Crash and Adamant, and Jolly takes away a lot of that. Like, it makes the roll, as you can see, from 37% to, like, 87%, which is a big jump, but you could run Jolly if you wanted. I just feel like you don't need Jolly on this kind of set. But yeah, so that's that. Icicle Crash, Stab, Head Smash for Gyarados, Liquidation, and Zen Headbutt. It doesn't get that many other good moves. You could run Reversal, but it's not consistent, so I like Liquidation and Zen Headbutt. Zen Headbutt lets you hit fighting types for decent damage, and then Liquidation just for solid water type attacks. Again, also, you want Ice and Water on most of these sets, so you can overwrite your own Hail, and then reset it if you're going to be attacking. And then this is a set I like a lot. Freeze Dry, let's show you. So, Freeze Dry actually, with Modest and Choice Specs. You might be thinking, alright, it doesn't do that much damage. And you might be right. Only time can tell. Bop! Oko's Gyarados. It Oko's Gyarados through +1 special events, actually. And it also Oko's Rotom Wash, if they're not bulky. Most of the time. So, Freeze Dry is a great move. Freeze Dry, AC Wind, Hydro Pump, Weather Ball. You can also run Brine. I don't think it doesn't get Scald. You can run Brine, and you can also run Blizzard. Blizzard is actually... Wait, what can you spell? Blizzard. These are also viable options. I think on this set you probably need Modest, just because, like, Eiscue doesn't have very good offenses, so, like, Band and Specs are trying to, like, help with that, but, like, the power, you need every bit of power you can get, and it's so fast in no ice form anyway that it's fine, right? Like, I think you could afford a drop in speed. You're not outspeeding Pokemon like Dragapult, which was yesterday's guide, so check that out. You're not going to outspeed that anyway, so... yeah, why worry about the speed is kind of my opinion, unless you're trying to sweep, in which case the speed is really important. But, yeah, again, same theory as Choice Band. I don't need to touch too much on it. Basically, you've got a built-in physical barrier, so you may as well, like, spamming offensive attacks is actually kind of viable, in my opinion, whether it be physical or special offensive attacks. Move Pool, again, is down to team. I would make sure you run Freeze Dry for sure. Specs and Band also benefit from... like, Choice Pokemon in general benefit a lot from Dynamax because you can lock into a move, and then if you need to switch moves, you're not forced to switch out because you can Dynamax. So, yeah. I also like Max Rockfall actually also gives you a chance to... like, this is really good against Rain teams, for example, because you can, use Max Rockfall to overwrite both... This is good against both Rain and Hail teams because you can... well, actually, never mind. That's kind of dumb. But you could pair this with, like, Excadrill, for example, and set Excadrill's Sand, for example. Or you could set Psychic Terrain, because Eiscue is so fast, you could set Psychic Terrain for, like, a Psychic-type Pokemon. So, there's a lot of combinations you can do with Eiscue. I think it's... do I think it's an amazing Pokemon? Do I think it's the best Pokemon in the format? No, I don't. I really don't. But, do I think that it has a lot of potential and could really cause some, like, waves and catch people off guard? Absolutely. I definitely do. So, yeah, I think that's all I want to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Trying to get up to 100K. But yeah, if you want to see more content like this, let me know. And please let me know in the comments down below which Pokemon you want to see next, because I'm kind of just taking suggestions at this point. Like, we're just kind of doing what people want. I got suggestions for Eiscue, so I did Eiscue. So let me know down below what you want to see next. It probably won't be the next video, because I'm recording these in advance because of Thanksgiving, but the day after, I'll be looking a lot at the comments. So if there's Pokemon you want to see me cover, just let me know down below. Anyway, I think that's all I want to say. Have a great day. I hope you have nice weather, and I will see you for the next video. Goodbye.